I gotta say about Chelsea, I was very harsh on how they do their business. I will say, I still don't understand the 7 year contract. That won't make sense to me ever. But I finally understood why they bought like 40 or 50 players within a span of 2 years. Because now they'll never have PSR problems. Because they'll just sell
Well,
8 of them for like $30 million each. And then they can just go
that
spend
that's
whatever they want. Like,
that's the whole 7 year contract reason as well. Because it's
What, the
say you
long
buy him for
years?
say you buy him for 70 mil, it's 70 million over 7 years.
I,
You got to think of it like an NFL contract.
I thought you could only stretch it over 5 years, though. Maybe
No,
you can stretch it over 7 years.
I just did the count. Chelsea have 38 first team players
Mm.
contracted.
Yeah, but that's how they'll never be in PSR problems because like
Yeah.
there's 15 of those 38 that they're never gonna plan on playing them, but they'll sell them to like Southampton or Bournemouth or whoever for 25
Burnley.
million, and then when you sell 8 of them, there you go, you got $200 million, and then you can go buy Pedro, and then you build a pretty good team doing it. So
I just
now I
don't
get it.
understand why. I don't know. I don't understand why they signed Liam Delap and then they signed João Pedro. I don't understand. João Pedro seems like he's great. I just don't know why they have to sign. They just signed so many players in the same positions. Like Gittins, I don't think he's going to be any better than Madueke, but whatever.
That's so funny because as the Man City fan, never mind. We can save that for later. Welcome everyone to season 4 of Remotely Related. We're back, baby. We're back. I'm Kenny, and before I introduce everyone here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it all. But boys, it's been a hiatus. It's been a hiatus. But we're back. We're back. And I couldn't think of a better group of people to talk about our top 8 predictions with a dash of Community Shield. Now, introducing first here. Some call him a world traveler. Some call him the Cutwater King. And when you think about it, we know Man City has a Rodri, but we have our very own. Rodrigo's in the building. Hello, Rod. How are ya?
Oh, I've been better. I'm still
Exactly my point. Cutwater King.
still recovering from the cut waters I had last weekend. Well, I had it Friday as well. Told myself I wasn't drinking, but something about a Friday.
Mm.
I may be an alcoholic. I really don't know, but I didn't drink on Saturday, so I think that's good news. That means I'm not, right?
It's in the contract that you have to have, like, dabble a little bit. Not alcoholic, but just, like, dabble a little bit.
Yeah, I'll take it. It is what it is.
But it is up to discretion, whatever you want to do.
You know how that goes.
But glad you're here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Okay, next up, a really strong member of the pod. It's probably like a captain, vice captain, co-captain thing. Smitty's in the building. How we doing, Smitty?
Good. Just finished up a couple hours ago. We watched that glorified preseason friendly for the dinner plate competition. So, other than that,
You guys are left a little hungry.
nice and calm. Well, there's plenty of time to eat. Plenty of time to eat. Plenty of time to eat. We don't care about that dinner plate anyway, like I said, but we'll be good. We'll be fine. And I'm great. I'm enjoying the hiatus. The summer break is always a good time to get away from the crazy life that I live, as you guys know,
Right.
and that 7 to 3 every day. So, just move on to the next before I get in trouble.
Moving on. This one I can keep short and sweet. I don't really know what was going on with his summer too much, but if there is a Pittsburgh Steelers sideline, I know he knows who's on that sideline. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron's in the building. Aaron's in the building. How you doing, AB?
I'm good. Happy to be back. Excited for the season.
For the visual people out there, you have a new haircut.
Yeah, I felt like my picture on our our 11 for this pod was terrible, so I figured I'd get a haircut, make it. So please use this image, not anything else beforehand.
We shall see what the media team's saying there. No, I'm kidding. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. And then last but not least, this one This one brings credibility to the pod because there's always the accent. For those of you that have watched other episodes, he's been here before. Not only did he sign the lifetime contract this summer, he signed on with the remotely related boys. Ladies and gentlemen, Goody's in the building. Goody's in the building. How we doing?
Yeah, not too bad. The lifetime contract didn't have great terms in it, but we pushed through those.
Seems like it was a Chelsea deal with the long term.
Yeah. Poor wages, poor living conditions.
Question for you though, because at the wedding there were some other members from the pod group that were there. If you just had to rank performance for what Benny, Mucky, Lando, who everyone will see at some point, who would you say like what's going on?
Oh, so Lando, I'm going to put number one. He was the best man, and he, as we all know, everyone in this chat knows, we were banking on one thing to happen during that speech. The Lando stutter.
Can you hurry up, please?
And he got through it all, no stutters, no nothing. Now
That's brilliant.
We'll contribute that to the alcohol consumption, for sure. But he did fantastic. And he put down some beers as well.
I'm sure he did after.
Yeah.
The second is going to be Mucky.
No way.
Dance floor demon. He was loving it. Yep.
I don't think we want to get him in trouble or us, so I'll just leave that at that.
Yeah. And then I think
furious.
I think Benintendi's third.
Okay.
But, no, they all put in a shift. It was good.
He's gonna be furious listening to this.
Hey, he is going to have some words for finishing last with that group.
He was worried about going on report all night. He was still on good behavior.
Well, he had to be with that invite list. Anyways,
Right.
we are going to move into the Prem. We have a top 8 predictions, and the way it worked, we have 14 responses, 10 of them being from the remotely related boys, and then 4 special guests. 2 of them being Bridge City's own, Nate Dragosich and Jack Shearer, friends of the show. They had their input. Next, we had a Stoke City legend and 860 Connecticut legend, my guy Derek, who will be on the show at some point. And then last but not least, we had someone who played against one of these teams we're going to talk about this summer. Simon gave his input. So shout out them. We're gonna dive into it, and yeah, let's see what everyone had to say. Now, AB, I'm glad you're here, because we can start with you. Before I go to 8th place, there were some honorable mentions, because once you tally up the points, some teams just couldn't make it.
They don't make the cut.
They just didn't make it. And one of your teams that you had in 8th place was Fulham. You had Fulham finishing 8th. Anything you want to say? Anything you want to talk about with Fulham? Why they got there?
I mean, I just think based off their season last year, they kind of, and actually the past couple seasons, they've kind of turned some heads and made some good signings. I kind of look at the Prem overall this year, and I don't know, after we did make this list whenever like some of the transfers hadn't happened yet. So
Of course.
at that point, like maybe I actually would have crept up some other teams, but I think like they're a strong physical team. They had good wingers last year. They had some and good pace on the outside backs. I just thought overall, like for a whole season, they could do some damage, and I don't know. I think they could have crept into the top 8. Now that again some of those transfers happened, I don't know anymore.
They got Jedi.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And Jedi we trust.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's take it easy on some of the American players right now. I mean, I remember a year ago we were doing this pod and we were talking about Pochettino, and you said, "F it, why don't we go and try to win this thing?" I mean, that was probably one of the crazier things you've said in a while. But let's just act like the American players don't exist. Let's just say Anthony Robinson doesn't even exist. And then when he shows up and he plays well, then we'd be like, wow, who is this guy? Let's just do that instead. I think it'd be much better for our country right now.
And with that being said, unless anyone else has anything. Next up for honorable mentions, we had a vote from Benny that had Sunderland finishing 8th.
All right, next.
That's a joke. We're not talking about that.
They made some good signings, good for them, but next, come on. I mean,
I guess the bigger question is, will they survive?
No.
I think they do.
Yeah, I think they do.
I genuinely think they do.
With
Wolves and West
they
Ham
signed
might be so
Xhaka
bad.
and Henderson, no?
Henderson,
Yes.
Brentford, I think.
Shaka?
Shaka's there.
Yeah, that was a good Masuaku.
Oh, throwback.
Yeah.
Adingra.
I agree with Smitty. I do think Wolves are going down.
I'm going to put my stocks in early. Talby, who Sunderland signed. He was in Champions League last year. He scored a couple goals. Early investment. That's all I'm saying. Early investment.
I mean, it's tough to say they'll stay up, but some of the other teams look so bad on paper. Like West Ham, like Goody said, West Ham, Wolves, who knows? But
Yeah.
if they stayed up, that'd be good, because we kind of need a team that comes up to stay up. It's kind of getting boring, the 3 up, 3 down every
you
year.
have to.
I mean, Sunderland seems to be the only team that used that 200 mil, and they just said, F it, we're buying everyone, anyone with experience, the youngins, like, they just went for it. And it's going to be a completely different team than last year for them.
Well, I think they're taking the same approach as Forest did when they came up. When they were just
Forest.
like, who gives a shit about the PSR rules? We're just going to try and stay up, and it's going to give us more money in the long run, and work well for Forest. So if you have the financial backing from the club, you may as well go for it. Cop the $10 million fine or whatever it was that Forest got a couple of years back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did get rid of Joe Bellingham, though. Big one.
I think it's important to say how bad Eric Ten Hag must be that Xhaka chose to leave the second best team in the Bundesliga to play for a newly promoted team in the Prem.
The funnier thing about that too is I don't know if you guys saw the Xhaka like intro video. You know how they like film them and they're walking. They're like,
idea where he is.
who are you most excited to play with? Everyone. Describe your feeling in one word. Excited. It's like, come on, man.
He said, "What's the best thing about Sunderland?" And he said, "The football club."
If that's not a man collecting a paycheck at the end of his career, I don't know what is.
Oh,
He's
man.
just
He missed the Prem.
I don't think.
no. I think he heard that Anthony might be signing for Leverkusen and was like, "Get me out of that."
He missed those wire transfers.
But okay. Shout out Sunderland. And then another one we had, we don't have to talk about too much. Gio, good friend Gio, member of the show. He had Everton finishing 8th. Any thoughts there? Or should we just
No,
go on a couple
That-
more?
That's another relegation battle.
that's worse than Sunderland.
I mean, NDI is class.
He is, but
NDI is unreal.
Yeah, he is nice. They're gonna
How
get
long is he
Grealish.
going to be there for? Grealish should go to Spurs. We can get to that later, but Grealish
No,
should
he's
not go
going
to
to- he's
Everton.
getting-
He should.
Yeah, I can see that. But okay, moving to 10th place, we have Nottingham Forest. These were votes from Kenny, Rodri, Benny, Kobe, and Simon, with Rodri placing Nottingham Forest in 5th place. I'll let you take the floor with this one.
So originally, when you sent me the list, right?
Of course.
I was just looking at recent, standings. They weren't bad last year. What they finished last year? 7? No.
Probably
Sixth.
like 7th.
fifth.
They were 5th or 6th or oh no, maybe they,
I
No,
mean,
they're
they're playing.
kinda like
they're
they
playing.
were 7th. Yeah,
They're
you're
playing
right.
Europa League, so
I knew that they were top half of the table, and I needed to make a splash. It's something that I just kind of just picked on the whim. For a casual watcher like me, like you boys are in and out every weekend watching the Prem. I was on the other side of the world. I could barely even keep up with what my family was doing. Right? For the ones who don't know, I was in Australia, watching the Prem at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight isn't for me. I'm used to the mornings. It was just a pick, Kenny.
I love that answer
Be
because
honest with you.
that's the kind of response I give when I pick like a 14/3 in March Madness, and it's just like I just needed to shake it up a little bit, you know? I just wanted to be different. I will say,
Well-
Nottingham Forest, their mafia boss owner. I mean,
Oh.
the way that he is holding Morgan Gibbs White hostage is something so incredible. I mean, I don't know if it's legal. I don't know if it's illegal, but the interview with the owner standing
the
right
league.
next to him is unbelievable.
I'm telling you,
unfortunately-
football might be bad.
He'll probably leave next season, but I mean, unbelievable scenes out of Forest.
well, have you seen all the stuff? I can't remember where he was at. Maybe Galatasaray or something like that with the owner, and paying referees and stuff like
This kind of lines up.
that. Yeah, give it like look it up on YouTube, give it a watch.
Mm.
Unbelievable.
I will say that with Nottingham Forest, when I was doing the voting, was Marinakis behind me? Like, just you better put Nottingham in 8th place, maybe. But besides that, I think they've made some decent transfers, like Ndoye and then the 2 guys from like Botafogo. Like, these are some good players, and I know they lost Alenga, so that is a big loss. But the return they're getting, and just it seems like a Chelsea method of we're just rotating players too that are in like a similar quality, similar tier, and just going with it. I don't see the fall off being too crazy.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to play the same. They're going to whip balls to Chris Wood and
Yeah.
pack it in with Mikolenko and.
The center back they got was 6'6" as well, so like they are just building the tallest buildings back there. So
To be fair, Igor Jesus, that guy that they got from Botafogo,
yeah,
he's an animal. Like he is
it makes sense.
He's a in 6-yard box striker. He gets up. He scored a lot of headers.
Well, that's
During the Club World Cup, like
Yeah,
playing
and he showed it there. I mean, that was the
Yeah.
first time you guys have seen it, but
He'll
Hey,
fit
that
in
makes
with the
sense.
wood chipper.
okay, moving on to 9th place, who just missed out with votes from Derek, Devon, Gio, Drago, Rodri, Smitty, and Jack Shearer. It's Brighton. Brighton 9th place. What do we think?
Here's my thing with Brighton is I don't understand. I do understand, but I'm waiting for them to make the leap from becoming like we buy all these players for 30 million and sell them for 100. I'm waiting for them to turn that into like challenging for the top 4.
I'm so with you.
You know what I mean? Like it's great. Like in the last 4 years, they've done McAllister, Caicedo. Baliba's going to be 90 million, 100 million if he goes somewhere. Like I just want them to use that money, and instead of like buying the young players is great, and maybe they've just accepted that's what they are as a club. But with their scouting being as good as it is, it's like I want to see them start pushing for top 4. And I know it's tough competing with the 4 that are up there, but I hope they can make the
probably
next
have the
step
structure
eventually.
to do it, to be honest. Like, they're probably one of the feeder teams in the position to actually make that leap. And I know it's, like, probably not in their foreseeable future, at least what their owners are thinking or whatever. But at the same time, they're buying these quality players. Like you said, the sell-off is crazy. So, at some point, go for it. I think in their last 5 seasons, they finished 6th as their highest. Like, that was their highest spot when McAllister was there and everything. But, like, other than that, that's why I don't have him in there.
I think my issue with Brighton this year is they are just going to struggle to replace João Pedro. Like, that's a lot of goals you got to bring in. Danny Welbeck's not going to do that.
You don't think?
He's just not.
I love Danny Welbeck.
I do think Danny Welbeck will score, if he's starting striker, he'll score 15, 16 goals this year.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like, Danny Welbeck scored, let's say 7 or 8 last year. João Pedro scored close to 20. He's not going to score 25, 26 goals.
they didn't bring a striker this transfer window, did they?
Dude, but
I don't think
the
so.
thing is, though,
To be
like,
honest.
they might find
Yeah.
a 19-year-old from South America, like, and he might bang 20 goals next year. Like, who knows?
The thing is, I think, just like everyone else has said, I think Brighton are happy in the position that they are, right? When's the last time they were in the championship? Maybe like 5-6 years ago?
Lewis Dunk was probably still on the team.
And
Yeah.
and before
Before
that, they were League One, and our good buddy Adam Mitchell was trialing for them. So you can imagine how long ago that was. I'm just saying,
That's insane. That's insane.
if you are a club that is good at producing players, finding talent, and selling for a few years, and by few I mean 5, 6, 10 plus, you have to be okay with making having that profit just come into the club before you make some waves. There's going to be a time that they will, but it's really hard when you're competing against Saudi money.
I'm assuming they're in Conference League this year.
I
I'm just making the
I have no
assumption.
idea.
I think they are, yeah.
If they are, the goal should be to win it,
Yeah, 100%.
right?
100%. Their goal
I
again
think
should
they're
be to finish top 6 and win whatever European competition.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that just they could make the Newcastle jump. I think they're on a somewhat of a trajectory for that, but it's just one of the, you're never going to compete with the top 4. Like, you can try, but you're just not gonna for a full season. So some teams are just comfortable with being like where they are, and I think Brighton is in a good spot for the size and money and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Because maybe you don't even want to make that Newcastle jump after what we've seen this summer.
Yeah,
but we'll get there.
But I think they can though. Like I think financially they
I
have
think
so
that's
much
the highest
wiggle
level.
room they can.
I think
Yeah,
that's their
so-
ceiling.
Going back to that.
Because they're selling $100 million players like every season almost. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Last time they were League One was 2013 or 14.
Oh wow.
They're not going back
actually-
there. I know that.
No, they won't.
No.
They won't. But they're okay being middle of the pack. Like
Yeah, they
Yeah.
probably are.
fine by them. Their general manager, the director of operations, must be a genius. The way that they scout. I mean, they'll go into the slums. They'll go find a nice little Paraguayan kid who doesn't even know how to read Spanish, and turn him into a superstar within 4 years.
That would just be unfortunate if you couldn't read Spanish, like, you know.
We'll have those
Yeah.
kids that excite. Those kids really do sign a lifetime
I
contract.
bet you all the menus in the cafeteria at Brighton are in Spanish, so that would be unfortunate for him.
Paella.
Keep
anyways.
Zubamendi away from Brighton.
But yeah, those were the honorable mentions. But now we can move into the top 8. Kicking us off with votes from Derek, Kobe, Kenny, Benny, Devon, Goody, Jack, and Lando. The highest vote being at 5th place. Glory, glory, Man United. Glory, glory, Man United. But
We're
okay,
not gonna sing to that.
No.
let's talk United. We don't have to sing it. We can just talk about it.
You said we had him 8th?
8th place, Man United.
I would honestly nearly bump him. I'd rechange my answer now. I'd bump him up a little bit.
I don't even think I had them in my top. But that's what I would have put up there at this point.
But like, what's the bump?
I'd move them up to like 6.
7.
Only because I'd move them up to like maybe 6 at the highest because they're literally only going to play 1 game a week.
My thing is,
Yeah, I don't have a lot of
like the signings they made are great, but you tell me where Bueno fits in a 3-4-3 type of system. Is he going to play wingback?
No, the scarier thing is it going to mean Bruno's going to play alongside somebody else as like a holding deeper playing midfielder?
Yeah.
That's what's scarier. Because if they end up going Sesko, Cunha, and Mbeumo as like that front 3 that kind of plays in the triangle shaped whatever, I mean, we saw Bruno playing deeper, and we didn't like that last season, so I don't think we're going to like it this season. And with Sesko, it's like maybe good, maybe shit. Young striker goes to United. Haven't seen one of them work out in a very long time. So who knows what's going to happen there. But Cunha and Mbeumo, that's almost guaranteed goals.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think to Smitty's point, I don't think they're going to drop the like lower table team games that they did last year. Like they're not going to lose to Leeds. They're not going to lose to Sunderland this year. They're playing a game a week. I don't see them dropping points where they really shouldn't. Like they're not going to compete with the top 5.
I mean,
but they won't.
I think they can make those games more competitive than they were last year. I do
Yeah,
agree with you though, especially with their schedule.
Yeah.
Well,
Like
they
if they're
They should just be able to run for 90 minutes, and that alone should make them more competitive.
You have to keep this in mind, right? They made Amarin come mid-season last year. He didn't want it. He wanted to stay and finish the season with Sporting. So, in his plan, in his vision, this is really the start, right? And how much time do you really have to give a manager to sort himself, find his feet? Because
Do you want me to mention a manager that didn't take long?
I was going to mention one that has taken very long.
Or do you want to talk about the history of Man United?
I want to talk about the history of how shit Man United is.
Yeah. See, what I don't get with Man United is last year all we were hearing was we're in financial trouble. We have to lay off employees. They laid off like 300 employees, and then they go and spend 200 million in the transfer window.
They were
And they're
in
building a new
interviews
stadium.
saying how yeah.
I don't understand that football
They
club
just got the
at
new
all.
training facility, right? They updated Carrington.
I think so, yeah.
They got a barber. How they got the money for the barber? Like how's barber?
I feel bad, though, because
I mean, Maguire's cuts are going to cost a lot. Never mind. Sorry.
I did say
Yeah,
months
yeah,
ago
so-
that all the strikers available. The one I'd least want to have was Sesko, but so I got to stay consistent and act like I don't want him to do well. But again, it's like I don't even have to do that because just by the sheer probability and odds, he's not going to do well. And anyone that wants to argue with me, I'm just going to name off all the ones that have just been at United that haven't done well.
Yeah, I kind of hear it, and I get it from just the probability standpoint. But when you, because I haven't seen too much of Sesko, but when I have, like, he looks a bit different. Like, he looks like there's something there, and I don't want to. No, I don't want to compare that to Højlund because Højlund, there's nothing. No. There were no highlights for Højlund. There were no highlights for Højlund. Sesko, you can actually see that there's a player in, like, there's attributes that he shows at the highest level that Højlund just couldn't.
He kind of put up a little bit of a show in the Euros.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he has highlights.
I was wondering who this fella is. I mean, I'm not telling there's that many ballers coming out of Slovenia, but
yeah, he looked to be actually a problem. I mean,
he scored 13 goals in the league last year.
I think he's very similar to like an Ekatike. A little bit less on the ball, but like same finishing, aerial ability. I mean,
I'm here for it.
6'3", 6'4", like
he wins 75% of his aerial duels.
Yeah,
that.
But like, at the same point, I know United's 8th here. If they sign the center mid that they're looking to sign, I think they can move up. But I still think that midfield is just so atrocious that I'm perfectly okay with them being in 8th right now.
all right.
Andre Gloves Onana. I mean, if they end up signing that guy, that's a problem too. Like,
And he's Bobby McKelvey.
cheese, Swiss.
Euro, Delit, Heaven,
God.
Maguire's there. Like, they, whatever's Mazraoui, like, whoever, but...
It's not great.
That'll be a
They're going to
comeback
play Dorgu and either Delo or Mazraoui.
Dallo.
Yeah.
They're going to play five back
Dallo.
again.
Get him
It'll
going.
probably be Diallo wingback, though.
Has Martinez fallen out of favor?
He's falling out.
the Argentinian butcher.
He just fallen out of health. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
Just
he's
hit.
touched a football in 2 years.
He sucks anyway.
Well, I don't think he does. I don't think he does.
But also, Kenny, my point of bringing Man United higher was because there's someone that a team that hasn't been mentioned yet that need to be brought lower after the recent events.
I know.
Fair enough. It's a good segue. I don't know if it's the next one, but in 7th place with votes from, let's see, Smitty, Drago, Rodri, Aaron, Gio, Goody, Lando, Derek, and Simon. It's Aston Villa, 7th place. This one? Guys, I don't know. I haven't seen much of Aston Villa at all this summer, and that's why I'm just like, what have they upgraded? What's being done over there? Should they be 7th?
They actually, like, I know Newcastle fans are complaining about it right now, but Aston Villa are actually in PSR hell where they can't do anything. Like, and you take into account they lost, Asensio's not there anymore. He was one of their best players the second half of the season. Ashford's not there anymore. I don't know, man. I think Martinez is an overrated goalkeeper. Ollie Watkins is a year older. If Watkins is there, who knows?
Didn't Martinez want to leave?
He did, but he's staying.
Because no one wanted to sign him.
Correct.
Who wants that basket case?
There also, it was a matter of Aston Villa's
I think
evaluation for him
40.
was way too high for what he's 34, 33
Yeah.
years old.
He's 34, 33, but he's been a backup for about 10 years, so take about 7 years off of that.
But that price tag just
Depends
goes
what you
back
do
to
as the
them
backup.
not being able to do anything. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they sell Watkins, maybe they don't. I don't know what market there is for him now.
Yeah. The core of Villa's team is still the same.
Yeah, I think they basically have everyone since last year.
Like, Jacob Ramsey is still there. Amadou Onana is still there. Tillmans is still there.
Rodri.
Dendoker, Konza, Mings,
Watkins.
They're up
Morgan
2-0 to Real
Hey.
now.
Yeah, I feel like with Mings, if we saw what did you guys see what he did to Greenwood? You need something. You need something back here just to let him know, like,
Football's
you know.
back.
Yeah. But I feel like with Villa too, it's an interesting thing because with Watkins, I feel like he's the last choice with all the other teams, and he'll only move if like United doesn't get what they want, if the Newcastle doesn't get what they want, or like so on and so on. So I mean,
it still comes back to the price tag that Villa's going to set.
Yeah.
Like,
They
why
were-
buy I don't even know how old Watkins is.
30
He's
something.
9.
29.
Dude, they declined
Yeah,
like
well-
60 some million for him from Arsenal in January.
Yeah, he turns 30 this year, so like, who's going to pay 80 million for a 30-year-old? Like,
Yeah.
when you have options like Sesko on the market, are you gonna a 22, 23-year-old? Like, it's not.
I think they just signed someone too, like an attacking mid from
Yeah, they did.
Ligue 1. So
Mhm.
that's, I have no clue about him, so I don't even want to talk about it. But I guess the question here, do we think Morgan Rogers is gonna like stay at the level he was last year? Because I'm a big component of like the sophomore slump, where like you take a slight dip and it's just not the same as that breakout year. So I'm just hesitant about it.
I mean, probably. I think he's still going to do pretty good. The numbers, you're right, probably won't be there. It really depends how he's going to do against the bigger clubs if he can get any involvements. Like, but I mean, that just comes down to how Aston Villa's going to play as well.
Unai Emery, masterclass.
They'll
Wish-
probably have a very similar year to last year, to be honest.
As I say, if
With
anything,
some
they'll
of
be consistent.
Yeah.
All right, Aston Villa, 7th place. Moving on to 6th place. Highest votes here were from Aaron and Drago at 5th, but 6th place for remotely related, it is Spurs.
That was the one I was talking about.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were talking about them.
Let's talk
That's
about
right.
Spurs.
I mean, I guess I'll start because my thought process was new manager, Thomas Frank's coming in. They're going to play with just a little bit of structure. No more Ange ball. They may actually keep a clean sheet this year. Kudus looked like a fantastic signing.
fantastic
And then you lose Madison and Son
with no Gibbs White.
with no Morgan Gibbs White coming in. Kulishevsky's still out with his knee. So there goes another attacking midfield option. I genuinely don't know what they're going to play. Like,
Well,
Oh, God.
what they should do is
Richarlison's apparently on the way out. Like,
what they should do in
obviously
the
not a
next
starter.
week is they should call Liverpool and try to buy Harvey Elliott like immediately. Is what they
God,
should
no.
do.
Mm,
No, it's what they should do. It's what they have to
I
do.
don't.
I don't think Harvey Elliott's very good, to be honest.
and the rumors of
You can talk about it if you want, because AB, I might be with you.
I mean, Harvey Elliott is a Premier League player. There's
Yeah.
no doubt about that. He starts at 60% of the Premier League teams right now. Probably not 60%. I'll say 45.
No, I'd say 60.
Would he help Spurs? Absolutely right now.
Yeah, I just
I-
I see Elliot at like a Brighton. Like
That-
I could
yeah,
see
but-
him being.
Yeah, but
I
Brighton
could
and
see-
Spurs aren't
It's
very
like a
far off
Brentford
right
player.
now. Brighton's probably a better football team right now than Spurs are.
Yeah, I
Style,
guess.
yeah.
I
Their
guess.
style. I am looking at their injuries. Oh, God. Yeah.
Their injuries are criminal.
Whether-
No, the injuries
whether-
are actually criminal.
Whether
Because
it's
then they're
Elliott
going
or
to have the
somebody
same
else.
issue.
They need somebody. Like they need somebody
Yeah.
that is
Or they need
Premier League
help.
proven that can play.
They're already at the point, and it's the start of the season, where if any of their key players get injured, they're screwed. There's nothing they
Yeah.
can do about it. You're just losing a position on the field. Like, it's...
Yeah,
Well-
and they have to start with Richarlison at striker because Solanke's hurt right now, so that also doesn't help.
Well, you know Van de Ven's going to do his hammy within like the first 6 games again because he just runs
Yeah.
so fast.
Yeah,
Like,
they have a
it's-
ton of like injury-prone defenders.
Romero's
Like,
guaranteed a
non-contact.
red card at every other game. Like, is...
Every 15 minutes, you reset the probability
Oh.
on will he get a red card. 1000%.
Vicaria's do a couple stinkers in goal. So like
It's
I
not
don't
like
know.
the backup's any better.
Like they
Lipinski.
lost Son. I agree, they did lose Son, but Son's legs were gone. But,
Son-
but
Son
they need to
barely-
replace him with
Yeah.
somebody.
You know,
That's the
you know who's
problem.
back? You know who's back from loan that I just saw?
Manor Solomon.
Anwar Solomon. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, he's good.
I don't know, Rod. I see what you're trying to say. Shout out Tom. I see,
Yeah.
but like, shout him out. I know that's friends.
Oh,
Like,
no,
but
no,
come
no.
on, man. Come on. We ain't talking about Manor Solomon changing Spurs right now. Like,
He was unreal
Wasn't
for
he-
Fulham, and then
Yeah, wasn't he playing left back or right back at Fulham for a little bit?
No,
no, he's playing like left mid, like
Yeah.
right wing.
Yeah.
type.
he went to Leeds. When he went to, he tore up the championship. It was unreal.
I see what you're
Fucking
saying.
championship, sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, we're not saying that it's like nothing out of the ordinary, but he's gonna have a good year.
It's just another guy that bring back into the squad to add depth. Add
who's
depth.
he playing over?
Oh, he's not going to
Kudus or
start.
Brennan Johnson?
No, he ain't. He's not starting. No,
I don't think he's starting.
Or Kulusevski?
He'll have a few games this season where people are gonna be like, "Who is this fella?" And
Yeah.
He'll get
Yeah, you're right.
It could be a lot more than a few games.
he'll get canceled because of where he's from.
My God.
Prem, the Prem is
No,
Prem
we're
is
not doing it.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. But okay, you know what? I don't even want to ask questions. I'll just leave it at that.
leave it at that. Yeah.
I'll just leave it at that. Spurs, a lot of work to do. Yeah, sixth place probably won't happen, but you know, at least you have a new manager. At least you have Kudus, and just go off the vibes. Go off the vibes.
Does Thomas Frank play a 5 in the back like three something?
I don't think so.
4-4-2,
He has
right?
in the past.
Yeah, I think it very much depends on the club.
Like he doesn't have Wisa and Embuemo, so
They'll
Yeah,
probably
might
play.
just change it up. Even
I'm
though
honestly
Wisa
not
might-
even sure Spurs have a third centre back. So
Ben Davies still there.
I don't know. It's not ideal.
Dragerson.
That's also not ideal.
No, Dragison's out. Yeah,
He's out
Dragison's
until
out.
October.
Yeah.
They signed that Kevin
Danzo. What
Danny.
about Danzo? Yeah.
Oh, they got Dan. They got Danzo. They got Danzo.
They got
He's good.
Danzo and Odebear. What about Odebear? We're sleeping on Odebear. I just remember
Alright.
Gio saying Odebear all the time last season. We got Odebear. We got Odebear. I'm like, who the hell's Odebear?
Big seasons from Bergvall and Archie Gray. Just remember those names.
Hopefully, Archie Gray gets to play in his actual position.
Yeah,
But
actually, then he might be playing center back.
Yeah.
fair enough. Any final things? Do you want to say goodbye to Human Son? But
Legend.
Apparently he's American.
asking about the World Cup, you seen that? Yeah. Oh, that's bored.
I'm
Absolutely
baffled by
bored.
the stupidity of humans sometimes.
It just makes us look bad every single day.
Yeah,
Legend.
absolutely.
Legend in the league.
He was a legend.
That alongside being called like every fast NBA team, NFL team being called world champion every time they win a championship. Yeah. You know, I went to Australia and I defended the USA with blood, sweat, and tears about those types of situations.
Got the flag on your back.
Dude, it was horrible. Australians think we're the dumbest thing on earth.
Well, we could have just talked to Goody and get his opinion. You know, no need to travel all the way across the world.
He didn't have
I could have told you that, mate.
Yeah, we know
I'm only a phone call away.
He probably deserved
Quick
some
little
of
phone
what they were
call.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
that was horrible.
all right. Speaking of horrible, let's move on to fifth place. And with votes from everyone except Derek, the highest vote being third place from Gio, we have Newcastle United. Oh, I look at this table
Let
every
me
time.
go.
he's live. This is unbelievable.
Let me go.
Go ahead, Smitty.
All right. So Newcastle right now, I think, are in the ultimate lose-lose situation because on one hand, you have a player that is the second best striker in the league, one of the 5 best strikers in the world, saying to you every single day, "I don't want to be here anymore. Sell me." And you're like, "Okay, whatever. We don't want to sell you." But then on the other hand, you look at the rest of your team and you go, "Well, if we sell this guy, our team doesn't look very good at all, right?" And the problem with Newcastle, I think if Newcastle could get I think if Newcastle could buy Jackson next week, I think they'd be open to selling him. I think they could come to an agreement because the reality of the situation is, I don't know how in the world they are going to convince him to go back there and start the season to play because he didn't go on the tour. He's been training at his old club. He's not training with the team now. And then every day it's like Eddie Howe's like, if it was easy to convince them to come back and play, I would have did it yesterday and all this shit. It's like, well, if you're going to do that, just sell him now. Because the reality is they don't want to sell him until they get a replacement because they don't want to get fleeced in negotiations. They're already getting fleeced in negotiations because everyone's assuming they're going to have an extra 140 million. So they're just a
They've been getting
shambles.
fleeced this whole window.
They're just a shambles.
No one wanted to go to Newcastle. Who was
I
it,
mean,
James?
how many players are out there now that have said no to Newcastle and gone to a different club?
Pedro, Cunha, Embuemo, Trafford,
Ekatike.
Ekatike, like
Sesko.
Gay.
Sesko. Like this is all just off of like the dome. So like, yeah, for me, I feel like it's a bigger discussion in terms of just like lack of preparedness or just not being truthful to the player because they probably promised Isak like the world, like if you stay, we get Champions League, we're gonna get this, we're gonna get this, we're gonna get this. And then whenever you go throughout the summer and you just keep seeing these rumors and just not rumors, just the stories of how they decline, like the player declined them, another player. It kind of just shows they were just going off a whim. It's like, if we get Champions League, then we can get these players. The reality is they're just not that club. They're simply not that club. Because if you're competing with the Liverpools, the Uniteds, the Chelseas, whoever it is, Newcastle just isn't that. And they should stick to the level or like tier of players, because now you're in a worse situation. You should have so many more transfers coming in instead of just Aaron Ramsdale. Like, it's simply, like, that's just not acceptable. And from Isak's side, I completely get it. Why am I going to show up when you promised me these things, and then this is what we have to deliver? Like, that's horrible.
Yeah, I don't understand either, because Eddie Howe came out yesterday or the day before saying that, yeah, he's probably not going to play against Aston Villa because he won't be back in training yet.
Sell him tomorrow.
Aston Villa is a big game for Newcastle away.
Competition. Like, that's your
Like,
rival.
you're fighting for Champions League, Europa League with Aston Villa, and you're going to have your star striker out. I don't understand that. You're either selling him or you're getting him back in training.
Well,
Yeah,
he's not going to play. He's basically told him, I'm not playing.
Thing is, if he's forced to play, how many times have we seen that a striker or a player that's been in a club that doesn't want to be there, how well does he actually perform?
That's why I don't understand.
Well, but
Just get the money for him and move
The point
on.
is, he's a £200,000 a week player that you're just throwing money at to not do anything. Like, he's on a 3-year contract still.
And again,
You're just wasting money.
Like Smitty said, like, they're already getting bamboozled. They know, clubs know that they need a striker. And the way that the market is right now anyways, it's so, like, they're not going to get a bargain from anyone. They're going to go get a mid-striker for an overpriced fee, because that's just how the market is right now. And I think we picked this before Isak, that news broke. So
Oh, yeah. It was all throughout the month.
so at the end of the day, like, well, we can count them as, what, 6 at best now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really impacts where they fall in the table. Instead of like a 5th, it could be like a 6th to 8th without Isak, because we don't know what the replacement would be. But at the same time, this shouldn't be the hovering thing over the club. Like, this should have been sorted. Because now, what?
Well,
Had to
they
have
don't want to
known.
handle it. Like, if Eddie Howe would have just came out yesterday and said, no, he's not leaving, end of story, like,
I don't
it
think
would have
Eddie
been
Howe can
different.
say that, though.
Yeah, because they,
Yeah,
in the
that's-
back of their head, they know, we have a player that's pissed off and doesn't want to be here. So what are you going to do? But the funniest part about this is, a month ago, Liverpool literally told them, you sell us Isak, or we're going to buy Ekitike. And they said, no, he's not for sale. And then they buy Ekitike, and a week later, Isak's bitching and moaning, saying he wants to leave. Well, it's like, didn't Newcastle have any idea about this before that happened? Like, I highly doubt, it took like 3 days for Liverpool to turn his head this much, where he hates being there and he doesn't want to be there anymore. Like, this had
That's what
to
I'm
have been
saying.
a long situation.
Yeah, it's just incompetence, because at this whole entire time, I can guarantee you 6 months out, Isak or whoever his agents were, whatever team or entourage he has, they probably said, let's just have a gentleman's agreement. I want to move on. I'm like, at this point in my career, let me go to a bigger club. They had all this time to figure it out, who these strikers could be, what could go on. And this is the situation now, like, that's poor.
And if you
Question,
keep
I
him,
mean-
it's the same exact thing in January, and it's the same exact thing in the summer. Like, it doesn't get resolved until he leaves. So and they're never going to get as much money as they're going to get right now for him. There's no chance they're going to get as much money as they can right now.
Question is, if Liverpool doesn't sign him, who comes in and gets him?
Oh,
Well, that's
it's
why I
only
don't
Liverpool.
That's why I don't
It's
understand
only
either.
Liverpool. No one else is going to pay 150 million.
Well,
for
we
him.
don't know. Man City all of a sudden.
No, I don't. No.
Full of madness for no
Nah.
You guys need
reason.
to relax. You need to relax.
Well, I mean, because then,
What's
like, the way City plays, you can't have Haaland and Isak
Yeah,
up top.
yeah.
And Haaland's on a 9-year deal now or something.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
think Isak would play the false 9.75 with the inverted? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I do kind of hope, for the sake of like entertainment and watching Isak play, I hope he does leave and gets to we actually get to watch him play and stuff. But I really don't want him to go to Liverpool. So if he went to Liverpool, I think they're clear-cut favorites to win the league. But
here's the thing, like, everyone's going at Isak. It's like, everyone goes at Harry Kane all the time for not winning trophies because he was loyal to Spurs. Like, Isak's going to be in the same situation in 5 years
Well-
where they're like, oh, you didn't win enough. We can't consider you one of these on this list. And it's like, he wants to go to a better club. Let him go to a better club. It's not like Liverpool are going to give you 70 million for him. Like, they've already said, we'll break the British transfer record. Like, I just don't get it.
130 gets it
Again.
done.
Yeah, again.
No, I think you're right. I think there might be like a little Harvey Elliott swap deal or something like that.
You think Harvey Elliott's going to be
I think he
involved
goes,
in this
not
deal?
like directly involved, but like I think Harvey Elliott goes to Newcastle.
Plus cash.
There's no way.
The problem
I
is
promise
Newcastle.
you, there's
Newcastle,
absolutely
I
no
think-
way
I
Harvey.
think
no way.
Newcastle
I think
should do it. Though.
sign Nico Jackson and Harvey Elliott, and then they sell Isak.
The thing with Newcastle is you might need to do a swap deal for him because none of these players want to go there. So it's like you almost have to start forcing guys to go there. I hope they sign Jackson. I just don't like how long is this going to go on? And from Liverpool's perspective, it's like they need to buy another attacker anyway. So I don't know if they're going to wait till August 30th to keep playing phone tag with Newcastle on if he's for sale.
No, they
or
need
not.
a center back too.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get there. We'll get there. My only thing was just I don't see a player swap being involved in any part of this deal just because Isak still has the 2 years on his contract or whatever. They're going to get straight cash, and that yeah. But
Yeah, you're right.
anything else for Newcastle? Do we think Joelinton's gonna hurt Isak when he comes back to training? If he comes back to training, 2 studs up, let him know. Maybe Bruno G.
If they're smart, no, because
Yeah.
Isak is their win condition. Like that's
I've
he is
never
how they
seen
win
someone
games.
scream for a throw in like Bruno G and Joelinton though. There's some bad boys up in St. James's Park, man.
Yeah,
He does not show up. He does not show up to train with the team until September 1st if he's not sold. No chance he's training with the team until there's no chance he leaves.
I can see it. But all right. Now to the good stuff. Top four. This was an interesting one. The separation between 4th and 3rd was 1 point. We have a 2nd place finish from Smitty, 4th from AB, 3rd from Goody, 4th from Rod, 2nd from Kenny, and then everyone else had their places. Gio just didn't even include this team in the top 8.
so I was trying to think who I put 3rd, and yeah,
Wow.
It's Arsenal. Arsenal 4th place.
You haven't heard about their midfield pivot?
Well, as long as the guy that won't even go there because that would get caught. No, let's talk about let's talk about Arsenal.
La Liga's got no shame.
What do we think about their transfer window? Like the pressure that Arteta has. Like what's going on here?
I think they made some really good signings, to be honest.
I think they've had a really good window. They can get
Yeah.
excellent with probably one more signing, but I think they've had a really good window.
I mean I know how the market is. I think 70 million for Zubimendi is a bit crazy.
Is it?
I think he's a good. I think he's a good player. I wouldn't, given that Liverpool were trying to buy him for 50 million last year, which Real Sociedad, is that where he's from? Wherever he's from, accepted the bid, and the player said no. To then go, is he $20 million better than he was last year? I don't know. I don't think it's a bad signing at all. I think he's a great player. 70 million for him is just a bit,
I can see
bit
it.
too high.
He's
I
a
feel
good
like-
player. Is he what they need, though?
With
The
Party
question is,
gone,
what is it they
probably.
need?
Goals.
Well, they needed a goal
Creativity.
scorer, but that goal scorer is not looking
The problem
that
is
great.
they don't just need goals, though. They just needed added creativity coming from an opposite side from Saka, and they still haven't solved that, which is probably
can't have-
why they're in 4th here, because
Madueke.
Madueke's
feel
not
like-
moving the needle.
I
I'm
feel
sorry.
With Madueke, he's gonna bring like Ruby Rose to the Emirates. Like, isn't that creativity? Like, these are things that Emirates haven't seen. You got everyone talking about them getting married, having kids. What Raya, Havertz, all in one span, getting married. You need the road man. You need someone who is just gonna do what needs to be done when it's time to go out. And Madueke is gonna
Fair.
bring that. So
He's just a younger Raheem Sterling.
You never know. You never know how the Mandem react when the Huzz is around. They might pull out some generation.
what we say in chat? What we say in chat? Oh man.
Pull out some generational performances just because of
That's
that.
what I'm saying. But
To an-
in all
to an-
seriousness,
To another point about the creativity, like I said it last year, watching Declan Rice in the final third. What is he even doing up there? He has no business up there. If this is a guy that that you're relying on to score goals, to not really score goals, but to have shots on target, to operate on that left like higher side of the pitch. Like you obviously need another like creative
Eh,
player.
I mean, you also remember Saka only started 25 games last year. Like, he did
True.
miss a big chunk of the season, so that's...
Yeah, but are you gonna rely on one guy to resolve all your issues?
I don't think so.
The
And
the
I feel
problem
like
is, go ahead, Kenny.
I was just gonna say, with like, I know everyone's looking at Eze. I don't think Eze's the answer to that problem because for me, what we saw even today, when he's playing in that 10, like that left 10, that would be where like Declan Rice is and everything. So that won't work. I think they just need an out and out winger that's gonna probably like a Gittins and like other people will talk about, but like you need someone who's gonna run at the defenders, take them on 1v1, do what they need to do. And Martinelli just is supposed to be
He
that.
does that.
He's just
He does
he's
that.
supposed to be that, but
He runs out of
they
bounds,
need an
but he does
upgrade
it.
from that. I don't
I
think
mean, he
Eze's
has
the
5 games a year that he looks unbelievable.
It's usually when
against
Trent's
Trent.
defending.
him against Trent. Yeah, against Trent.
Trent, yeah. He was good
Yeah.
against Madrid. Like, he turns up for games and just...
Yeah, I don't think you
I
should
mean, you
be
also-
like relying on him, but I just
No.
don't think Eze's the answer for Arsenal. I just don't think he fits in that.
But like
Yeah.
we can talk about personnel all we want. Last year it wasn't really a personnel issue; it was just a tactics issue. They didn't create enough. And
Well-
if Saka is the reason you're creating 99% of your chances and your manager is not helping out anything else with chance creation, how are we supposed to act like it's supposed to be fixed? Gyökeres probably will score goals, but he's got to have chances to score goals. I mean, this isn't Harry Kane we're talking about. He's not going to have a 60% chance conversion rate.
Are
I mean,
Arsenal the XG Kings though?
I mean...
Did you
to be
hear the
fair,
new
when
one? The
When
new
you're playing
one.
Mikel Merino up top.
Arteta
Yeah.
said he wants to remove the overhang where the tunnel is where the players come out. Because right now the overhang's blocking the atmosphere and you can't hear the roar in the locker rooms.
No way, that can't be real.
Oh, it's real.
I think it's because of
That can't be real.
It's real. Look it up.
Oh my God.
I thought I'd seen it all in All or Nothing, that documentary that Amazon put out. Jesus, that's a new one.
I mean, there's more atmosphere in that series than when they tie Everton 0-0 at Emirates last season. But no, I really think like from top to bottom, Arsenal has the best squad in the Prem. Like in terms of numbers and the availability and just everyone there, I really do. So I think
I beg to differ.
really.
You know what Arsenal
Yeah.
has? Here's what
I think there are
Arsenal
two
has.
other teams in the top 4 that have stronger squads.
Who we can talk about it right now.
Arsenal have what I like to call
I think-
a lot of floor risers, right? They take a good team from a great team. They don't have enough ceiling risers, you know? They don't have like enough world-class players. They have enough great players, but not enough world-class players. And that's the difference. That's why they haven't won the league yet. Because arguably they have 2 world-class players, and the teams that have beat them to the league the last couple years have 3 or 4. And it's caused them pain. And you could argue that Arteta's not a world-class manager either. But I
Before we go,
rest my case.
before we go, I'm curious on these 2 squads.
Chelsea and City. I think they both have better squads than Arsenal.
City, I'd argue. Chelsea, no.
I think Chelsea does. I think Chelsea's. That's why.
Chelsea
well,
has depth.
apparently,
They-
according
A
to
lot
our
of
entire.
talent, like a lot of unproven talent, like
Yeah.
a lot of potential.
Well, we
But
can.
when you're talking about the ceiling risers, I think there's more on Chelsea than there are on Arsenal.
Like,
Let's
you're just playing a numbers game there. 50 players against 28.
well,
It's
no,
a
I
good.
think
It's a good segue because in third place with votes, with 3 first place votes, 5 third place votes, and 6 fourth place votes, it is Chelsea. So you can continue.
I mean, they do have a ton of guys on their squad. But I think watching them over the summer, with some of the additions of their players and stuff. Now, obviously, the summer doesn't necessarily mean how
They
it's
look
not
good
an
during the Club
indicator,
World Cup,
but
though.
they looked pretty good, and
Look good.
there were a lot of teams the good teams in this competition where they did play all their good players. I mean, their midfield is, given if they stay healthy, I think it's really strong. We'll see
Best
what
in the
happens.
world.
We'll see what happens with Cole Palmer. If he shows up and turns up this year, I mean, they could really push to, I don't know. I don't know. I think
I
actually,
genuinely think they can win the league.
I mean, I think they
can
have.
win the
I think
league.
they have the ability to win the league with João Pedro and Liam Delap. Like you have depth and two guys that are proven in the Premier League. I don't know. I think
JP, I think also to your point, like adding to that, like when I mentioned that they do have a lot of like potential, um, how do you think this Esteval kid is gonna do? The kid from Fluminense. I mean, like in preseason games, he's already showing absolute class. He was
yeah,
class for Fluminense, and then he was class
yeah.
for Chelsea the second half of the tournament. My question is, do you think he has a legitimate chance of A, getting game time, and B, making an impact this season?
I don't know.
He's
I mean, that's a great question because that's one of the questions around Chelsea is who actually is going to be playing consistently. Because I think they need to have consistent players in their lineup to, like guys that are playing week in and week out. If they don't, then you're just you can have games where you can't create anything. Pedro Neto, I think, is like a bona fide starter, so I don't think he would play. Esteban would play over him. And then I guess it depends where Palmer's going to play if he's going to play at the 10 or off the wing.
he'll have, I think he'll have like freedom to roam and
Yeah.
wherever
What
he wants.
happens if they get Garnacho?
He sits
I
on the
mean,
bench.
Absolutely nothing
Yeah.
changes.
Again, yeah. I don't
You think they're paying 60 mil for him to sit on the bench?
Yeah,
know
Yes.
why they get him. To be honest,
yeah.
They just paid
I think
55
that's
for Gittins, and
really-
no one knows what he's going to do.
I
The
think
evil
that's
soccer
really
looks
where
pretty good.
Chelsea lack.
Real good though.
They don't have that winger that's every game going to be class, unless Cole Palmer's playing on the right.
Pedro Neto.
Like Pedro Neto's a great player. Is he going to turn up every week and put in a good performance?
I think he usually
Giddens,
does. To be
haven't
honest.
seen enough of him to be like.
Does he need to though?
I'm
This
really
Chelsea
high on
side is really good. Like they are a really good side.
They have the
I mean,
evil, the
you
evil
also
soccer.
have another United issue where your back four. Reece James is guaranteed to get injured.
But
Cole
Gusto's there.
just done his ACL.
Bad.
I
That's a
don't
bad
know.
one.
That's
Yeah.
really bad.
That's a bad
Sanchez
one.
is in
Chalobah
goal.
and you got Sanchez in goal. Like it's
I think Malo Gusto's.
I mean,
No,
I'm curious. I'm curious to see about like this Ajax signing too, because he might just have to jump in now. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. Like I haven't seen him play too much, so I don't know like how good he is. But
yeah, that Hato or whatever it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's gonna have
Yeah.
to work. But I really enjoy Chelsea. I think they're one of the most entertaining teams to watch.
I just like watching them play because and it's fun to like watch all these random players they pick up that you kind of like never get to see. Now we get to see them, and
Is Mudryk still on ban for the substance abuse or whatever? How long more does he have?
2 years or something, I think.
he's a late room warrior.
I couldn't tell you how long Mudryk's on the sidelines.
I honestly don't even know why he's still contracted at Chelsea.
Because they know
Yeah,
when
they
he's
just-
Pro contracts.
they know when his ban's over, they'll be able to sell him to Arsenal for 50 million.
That's a good point.
Anything else we want to talk about Chelsea?
I think they're knocking on the door. We'll see
I
if they
think
can break
stealing-
it down.
I think they compete this year for the
I think
title.
stealing is win the league. I think fifth is the worst they do potentially.
Does this team have a Champions League run?
No.
I reckon they'll win.
The thing,
They might win an FA Cup or something like that. Community. What's the other one? Carabao Cup.
Carabao.
I think they win a cup.
another point we're missing is the Champions League run. Last year they played two separate teams. They're not going to be able to do that. So that might have an effect, as well as
You
the
don't
fact
think?
that they just played for they played an extra month-long season. So
They won't be able to do it in the Champions League.
no,
is the
because if
issue.
they do it in the Champions League, they'll be bounced. They'll get grouped. There's
they did it in the Conference League.
Yeah.
when you pay
Yeah, and I
Bodo
showed-
Glint. I mean,
did you guys see the Conference League highlight yesterday? Their
No.
keeper. It looked like they were playing at Rooney Field for starters. Their keeper dribbled all the way to half field and had a shot on target.
Who
It
was-
was the 55th minute. I have no clue what team it was, but it was the Conference League qualifiers. I saw it. I'm like, nah, this can't be real.
That's
This
what I'm
can't
saying.
be real. Oh, but yeah, no, I get it. Squad depth wise, you probably can't run the two squads for each competition, but
Not if you want to compete.
yeah. But Chelsea should be exciting. Third place. Moving on to the top two. So we had for second place, one person, first place vote. 8 people, second place vote.
I wonder who the first place vote was.
Third place, 2 people. Fourth place, 3 people. It is Manchester City, which means Liverpool is first. But before we get there, we can talk City since AV's here, Man City correspondent. How you feeling about City this coming year, man?
I'm excited. more excited for the start of this season than I was last season, just because of some of the transfers that we didn't get last year but did get this year. And then if we're looking at the entire year, because we know we picked up a few guys in the January transfer window, to being Marmoush and Kusanov.
What about Vitor Reis?
What'd you say?
What about
Isn't
Nico
Vitor
Gonzalez?
Reis- Nico
Vitor-
Gonzalez?
Yeah, I think they're well. Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
We already
Which-
replaced those two.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really excited. I mean, we got to see glimpses of some of the guys we picked up, and I think we finally picked up guys that we needed in positions that were a little bit wavering, like left back Ryan Nori. I think he is really good, and I think he fits the style of like how City's going to play. I know Guardiola and Ake were kind of playing out there, and we usually don't play like it's like all center backs across the back four. So actually having a left back feels good. I'm a little worried about right back because they said Mateus Nunes is looking like the right back, and
Oh, he's in there.
He's
Mateus
athletic.
Nunes is in there.
he's athletic. So we'll see. But then I think basically getting Ederson's replacement, James Trafford, who had that insane run last year for Burnley where he didn't concede any goals for X amount of games, and he was a player that was in our academy and stuff. So happy about him. And then just some other fun pickups. Ryan Cherokee looks to be, which again, I don't know how we're going to fit some of these guys in, but the most excited about is Reinders because he just seems to be, and kind of you can maybe speak to this because I never really watched him much, but he looks really good, and I think he's someone that will solidify our midfield more so, especially with Rodri being out again with an injury, which is really annoying.
As a hater, I would love to not speak about Reinders, but
I'm asking, please.
he's unreal. Like, he's the engine that you guys needed. I feel
Yeah.
like Smitty talked about a lot last year with like the Bernardo Silvas, Kovacic, Gundogan's. These are people just that don't have the legs to play like that box to box role anymore.
Yeah.
And with Reinders, you have someone who can play in any system, any way. I know with how discombobulated Milan was last year, it was sometimes a 4-4-2, it was sometimes a 3-5-2, 4-3-3. It didn't matter. Reinders was still doing what he needed to do. So he should be a really good pickup for you guys. You touched on it a little bit. That Rodri injury, I don't know.
What
I
is-
don't know. Them ACLs, man.
It's a career done. He's wraps.
No.
What did
let's
Pep
relax.
say? What did Pep say? Did he say it came from the Al Hilal game?
Yeah.
A long
and now we
time
just hear
ago.
about it a couple days ago.
Well,
A long time ago.
They reported it a while ago. They reported whenever it happened, and it's a groin injury, so whatever that means. Yeah,
Good
I
job.
really just hope Nico Gonzalez actually, like I'm
No,
gonna
stop.
no.
Oh, wait, sorry. You're serious. You're serious.
Eddie, Eddie, you're doing very well.
No, but no. Let her go. Let her go. Let her go.
I was a hater. Was not a fan of him playing like how he played. Everyone was like, oh, he's gonna be Rod. No, he's not, and he never will be. But I hope he's at least better than he was coming in the January transfer. I think sometimes it's tough. You can either make an instant impact or you kind of don't really show any. I don't want to say he doesn't show any potential. I hope that after the summer and stuff, he gets a fresh start and he plays consistent, because coming in January sometimes is difficult, I think, for players. But
He reminds me of Ugarte a lot.
well, then we have no hope.
He's
So,
not that bad.
No, watch out for Oscar Bob.
My issue with City is, what is their starting lineup going to be?
Yep.
I don't know.
I am hoping, well, as a Liverpool fan,
I
I'm
hope
hoping
Cherokee
Pep
starts.
hasn't figured this out, and I hope he just rotates players each week. But like, you got Savinho, Foden, Doku, Bob, that he was just rotating through games. Marmoush,
Yeah.
and I'll even throw Churchky in that, because
Yeah.
they play a bit of a 3-1 with Haaland. He has to pick a 3 and just somewhat stick with it for at least like 5 or 6 games,
I'm
just
100%
to get
agree.
into a flow.
I don't think
Not
you can
happening.
do that.
I
Well, that's my point though. Like,
He's never
you
doing that.
Absolutely have to.
He's a
Yeah.
big bastard. He won't.
Like,
that's why Liverpool is the way they are, is because they play the same guys every week typically, and that's what I like. That's one of my favorite things about Liverpool, and that's what I hate about City, is that we have squad rotation and we play these players and there's no consistency. Yeah, I agree, Goody. I think like if they don't do that, then, which they're probably not, because Pep wants to make everyone happy, or he just like completely shuns players out and like doesn't play them. But
Well,
yeah,
I really think it's Doku didn't score this game or get an assist. We're
that's
gonna throw
exactly what it is.
Foden in.
I
And
mean,
then he
if-
doesn't score an assist, and it's back to Doku.
Yes, I agree.
If we see Bernardo Silva playing or starting like
Winger.
30 games in a midfield three as one of the three, I mean, I don't know if they could finish second doing that.
Well, my least favorite thing's when they play him as a winger because he's
It's
slow
not
as
the
a turtle.
Monaco days anymore. Yeah.
What are you on about? Pep is famous for playing midfielders out wide. They used to work at Barcelona. Why would it not work here?
Is
Because we're
Ruben
not
Diaz
Barcelona.
healthy or no?
He is.
Yeah.
How
think
long is
he
that
Um,
going to last?
I don't know, because I'm excited to see Kushinov again this year.
I am. I think he got better. I mean, he had a shocking first game, but then he got better, and then Pep stopped playing him. So I don't know.
Is that the center back from Kazakhstan that like fucked the ball?
Yeah,
away?
yeah. He
Yeah,
had a
he
really
got
rough.
He did more than that, but yeah.
an assist and a
Okay.
yellow card in the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
5 minutes
Yeah.
of
He was
the
really
Chelsea
bad.
game.
I think
I
that's,
felt bad.
that's the
Didn't
thing
speak
with
any
City.
English.
There's just a lot of questions that we don't know the answers to yet. So the jury's still
Is-
out on what we're going to see.
I kind of like
Is
the narrative you guys are
Stones
painting.
healthy? John Stones.
Never going to be healthy
as
again.
for- now,
I think his last healthy game might have been the Champions League final, maybe.
Yeah, as soon as he kicks a ball or like plays one long ball, he'll probably rip his groin. So I don't have much faith in him consistently being in
When
there.
he was playing CDM, it must have been that year that they won
Oh,
the
yeah,
Champions League.
Champions
so
League.
He
good.
was fantastic.
Dude, he's
He
so
gave
good.
everything he got. Like there was
Yeah.
nothing left to give
Put
after
the last
the year.
5 years of his career into that
Yeah.
single season.
Literally.
He made a deal with the devil. That's what
Yeah.
he did.
You know how hard it is to play CDM? It's
No.
not weak.
Do you?
But
Moving on.
moving on. Yeah, for most people, the City's finishing second place, but we can move on to who we think is going to do back-to-back. Liverpool champions again. I'll let Goody and Smitty lead this one off. Talk about whatever you want to, and go from there.
Go ahead, Smitty.
Yeah, obviously today was not ideal, but when you look at games like today, I think I'm not as worried with how Van Dijk played, even though I think he was the worst player on the pitch. I think it was just like a one-off shit performance. They do need to add depth in center back. I don't know if it's Gahey. I don't know if it's some young guy. You can't go into the season with Joe Gomez, Konate, and Van Dijk because Joe Gomez is never helpful.
Gomez.
So they need to add a center back, and then they need to add an attacker also. If it's
Chiesa.
Isak, it's Isak. I don't think it's going to be Chiesa. If it's a winger, it's a winger. The biggest
Should it be
problem,
one player or two players in the attack?
I think it can be one. I think if they get Isak, they can make it work because I think. I honestly don't want them to buy a winger because I think if they buy a winger, it's going to block the pathway for the young kid. And I really don't want them to do that because he looks like a promising talent. The problem with Liverpool today was like, usually when you add 4 new starters into the team, you worry about those guys. But you could argue the 4 of them were the best 4 players Liverpool had on the pitch. Like, Ekitike looked comfortable. Wirtz looked comfortable. Frimpong, he's not the best defender. But what I will say about Frimpong is at least he will try to defend, which is substantially an upgrade over Trent because Trent didn't give a shit about defending. At least Frimpong will run and try. Kirk
Well, at
is
least
a
he's fast,
psychopath.
too.
And then arguably maybe a bigger problem than defensively was Salah can't have 24 touches in a game. So he's got to find a way to get involved. But go ahead, Goody. Add what you want to add.
I mean, to the Salah point, I think it actually kind of works in his favor a little bit more now. Like, Salah is still scoring, I don't even know how many, 27 goals last year, and it was just him, pretty much, scoring goals. I think a little bit of help was added just to shift the goals around. I don't think he's going to have the season that he did last year by any means, but when you got Ekitike and Wirtz in the midfield actually providing something is a huge difference because Szoboszlai wasn't that creative player that we expected him to be or a goal scorer. I think Wirtz clears him on that.
You think it's going to be like a Holland situation where for City he didn't get many touches, but he just ended up with a ridiculous amount of goals?
I think so, and I think assists as well. I think Ekitike is going to be on a lot of those Salah Travellas that he just puts behind the back line every other game. And then I think Frimpong as well is... Smitty mentioned Trent. The fact that the fact that Frimpong is actually going to be in the back four, where Trent would bomb forward, and then that's where I am for the rest of the game. Frimpong will actually be up and down. And the fact that I don't know if you noticed it, Smitty, but Kirkers is actually sitting now instead of where we had Andrew Robertson go forward as well. I think that helps a lot.
I think a big issue with today was Gravenberg didn't play, which didn't help at all. I mean,
And McAllister only played 30 minutes.
Curtis Jones was playing as like
He
the
tucked
six.
in his jersey though. That's
He looked
overpoint.
The jersey looked clean, but
Yeah,
I was so
Him and
confused.
Sosa-
I didn't know you
Sosa's
guys
electric.
I thought you guys signed someone. I'm like,
Yeah,
who
so
has
did I.
the tucked in jersey at the 6?
that's Soboslai's best
Yeah.
position though. Is playing like that McAllister role.
Well, I know my point was Curtis Jones and Sobozai together is just not.
Today, because I don't want to look too much in today, of course, because community shield, whatever. But it was just interesting because for me, it seemed like Crystal Palace's attack all came down the left side. Like, although Frimpong was like buzzing down the right, it was just one long ball over the top, and then all of a sudden just another cross. And I don't know if that's going to be the way to break down Liverpool this year. And it was probably a one-off from Van Dijk, but it's just it was just something I noticed. It was something I noticed.
No, Van Dijk was
Poo.
shocking today. I don't know if it's because he's coming off the back of an injury and he hasn't trained or what. I don't know, but he was not.
Also,
Not
Van
good.
Dijk, half the time that Van Dijk defends, he looks so nonchalant. So when he does things right, he looks like he's the best defender in the world. He hardly tries. And then when he gets rinsed, it's like, it just the way he defends exaggerates his success and his failures. At the same time, you guys, Liverpool lost some penalties to Palace, right? It was like, penalties, it wasn't like, although it wasn't the most attractive Liverpool game that I've seen. I think I watched a bit over half of the match. You guys are still going to be winners of the league by far.
It's not far. It's not.
Nah,
I
I
think
mean,
It's not far.
I also
Absolutely
think
not.
there
I
was
don't think
miles difference
City,
between
I don't think
first and
City
second
even
half.
get near Liverpool this year.
That is rancid. That's rancid.
Well,
That's,
this is my whole thing with Liverpool because
Sorry,
I
I don't
think
like that.
I think the starting 11, like even if you get Isak or not, is cold. Like it's super fire. But it's that depth that Smitty's talking about. No center back without Gravenberch and McAllister being on the bench. Like that midfield position, Crystal Palace should have scored a couple more. And granted, Liverpool had their chances, but Crystal Palace was kind of dominating that second half. And I'm thinking for a 38 game season, how are you gonna rotate enough and be good enough to where you guys are going to comfortably win the league again? I just don't see that yet, and I feel like it's a big issue for Slot.
Because they're going to sign Isak and they're going to score 3 goals every game. That's the plan. That's very clearly the
I
plan.
mean, Liverpool's always been, we're going to score more than you. Even with Klopp, it was
I think that
attack till we die, and then
I think the starting 11 is like in prime position for a Champions League run. I don't think the squad's there for a Prem. I think if, like, for Liverpool's squad, that is a Champions League winning squad right there.
Yeah, but
You
how
think that
can
they
you say
focus on the
how can you
Champions
say
League
the
or the league?
squad's not there for the Prem when they just won it 12 months ago?
Because you've just rotated everyone, and then what you were just saying.
Yeah, but he
Like,
didn't
no
rotate
Gravenberch,
anybody though.
No one
Like-
like Joe Gomez is hurt and everything. You need a squad. You're
Like,
gonna have
Grav-
to rotate, and if the
Gravenberch-
rotation's not good enough,
Gravenberch and Salah were dead by match week 35 because they just sprinted to the finish line. And I assume they're going to do the
I
same
mean,
thing.
the good thing for us is that Frimpong can play right wing.
and you have Bradley. Like
You have
gotta
Connor
chill on
Bradley,
that
who's
right
actually
side.
a very good defensive right
yeah,
back.
he's a good
Rob
defender.
is the best backup left back in the league.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I'm just looking
The center
at
backs,
I do
the
agree.
center backs
like the
disgraceful.
6.
But the
Eddie's
midfield,
back
not
in
good
eight.
enough either.
I'm not even worried about the midfield.
No,
You got
I,
Verts, Soboslai, Gravenberch,
Yeah.
McAllister, Endo. Dude, that's fine.
I think
That's
the
fine.
five, the Curtis Jones, Soboslai, Wirtz, McAllister, and Gravenberch are all good enough to somewhat hold their own, especially against anyone outside of that top 5 team.
I
It's
don't
just
know,
centre back.
man.
As soon as Kanate and Virgil, one of them gets injured, we're in trouble because
Well,
you're
I
going to
don't
get to
like
a
how
scenario
Curtis
where you're going to be
Jones
playing Endo at centre back.
Yeah.
That's my issue. I wouldn't. Isak is an added bonus at this point. I'm not. I'd
And then
love to
what
have
happens
Isak.
if Isak shows up? Does Cody Gakpo go to the bench? Does Ekitike
Yes.
move to the left?
Yes.
You want Ekitike on the left?
Yeah.
Yes,
Comfortable with that?
Yes.
All right, I'm just making
100%.
sure.
I
100%.
I think if the midfield just gets comfortable realizing when Florian Wirtz is standing in front of you, just passing the ball. Like, let's just get to that point, and then we'll be fine. Just give him the ball, and
I think they're
let
one
him
injured to
run
the
at
back
people.
line away from not doing too hot. I mean, there's no matter what, like their midfield and front are gonna carry them to like probably top two, top three for sure. But yeah, if you guys get another center back that just adds that extra back brace, I guess for the squad, then yeah, you guys will be just fine. But Frimpong is like basically Trent, except he'll run back, he just won't defend really well.
He
I
also
don't think.
doesn't quite have the passing ability of Trent.
Yeah, like you gain some, but you lose some, so it's kind of the same, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I just speaking on the transfers, I think the best part about these transfers are they're all under 24 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great.
Yeah, you
got
guys
them,
make really good transfers.
This isn't a potential thing you have to grow into. Like, they're already
Yeah.
who they are, and they can get better at that. You know.
Yeah.
So, I love the transfers. I just didn't know Liverpool was spending all the Coutinho money.
Yeah. I think we still got a little bit left. I hope we got 150 mil left from
Hey,
Coutinho.
hey,
Right.
the net spend kings. We're under 100 million.
I think
Unreal.
like the transfer in like Ekatike, if he went into like a United, I don't think he would do nearly as well as like slotting into a Liverpool. Obviously, like the squad in general is better, but I think players going into Liverpool typically do pretty well. Like especially in the past few years, like almost all the players that went in last year to your guys' squad actually like did really well. So I think whoever comes in is going to do pretty well.
I'd
The
rather than
environment.
Yeah,
Gahey would arguably be more important than Isak because
I
I think
think
they're
I
going
would
to
do
score
that,
goals
yeah.
regardless.
yeah.
Now, if they add
He was
Isak,
really nice.
teams might have to pray. But
It's still just another thing, though, for me, because Isak and Gahey, these are important players. Like, you can't tell Gahey he has to chill on the bench. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I hear you.
Like, it's a conundrum. Like, I've been thinking about this Liverpool squad because on paper, like, in FIFA, this is great. But you're adding a lot of quality at once. So I'm
which
curious.
was why I was surprised we sold Somebody
Kwanzaa.
help me out. What's the center? Yeah, Kwanzaa.
I was shocked,
I was surprised we sold him because we needed that center back.
and he was like still like pretty promising. I mean, I don't
mean-
think he was great, but he was all right.
We got like 35 mil from him, which is
he probably
Yeah.
wanted to leave, to be fair.
yeah.
Get consistent starting time, yeah, probably.
Maybe Matip can come back.
Jesus,
It was
I
just his
thought I'd
birthday
Skirtle
the other
back.
day.
you just signed Martin Skirtle.
Honestly,
Who else was over there? Daniel Agger? Was that one of you guys? Yeah.
Is Fabinho still playing? Can someone ring him up?
he talked about a man with no legs left.
Yeah.
Wow.
They probably lost his number. I don't know. Just got lost in
He's hanging out with Klopp and Ibiza.
the Ibiza final boss. Those three. Right around the town.
He was from the UK.
They haven't met me in Bali, I tell you that.
Oh, Rodrigo final boss in Bali. Oh, that's disgusting. That is disgusting.
Would you rather have Arsenal's 11 or Liverpool's 11?
Starting 11?
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Liverpool's probably.
I think I'd want them over Everton.
I think, yeah, Liverpool's starting 11 is better than all the teams in the league. It's just the City when you have potentially Foden on the bench, Oku on the bench,
Squad
Churchkey on the bench.
I just don't know who we're gonna play. I just don't know who we're gonna play. It gives me nightmares thinking about and headaches and stuff.
It's going to be an interesting season because City have all the keys to make
Yeah.
a strong run. Problem is, I want to know what Megamind is going to do when
Yeah, overcomplicate
Well,
like he always does.
City are in a rare position where they kind of have a free run of it and not too many people are expecting much. I mean, and then between Arsenal and Liverpool, you could argue Arsenal have more pressure on them than Liverpool do. Because if Arsenal
Oh,
don't
for
win
sure.
something, their
Arteta's
manager's
probably
gone.
the most.
Yeah.
Arteta's
Yeah.
the most pressured manager
in the
of
world.
I wouldn't even say Arsenal. I'd say Arteta's got to win.
I think, yeah.
He has to win something
It's
this
either
year.
that, it's
or he's
either he
gone.
wins, or next year he ends up at like Sevilla or something like that. Villarreal or something like
Well,
that.
yeah, he's getting sacked for sure.
Well, I'm
I-
thinking. Go ahead.
I don't
Peter.
know if they'll sack him. I don't know if they
They
will.
have to.
I think
Just
they keep her out.
teams that you don't give crazy expectations for, like that aren't talked about, are the most dangerous. And for me, that's Chelsea. Like there's like some talk, but they could be. I mean, I'm just scared for what they could be. Will they be that? Who knows? But they started playing like really well last year, and like it looked pretty good over the summer. I would not be surprised if they did something kind of crazy this
I
year.
want a 3 to 4 like team race, and I think the capabilities there,
That's
just the
yeah,
way everything's built, and I feel like that would be like some proper like Barclay stuff with like the late 2000s and everything. So
yeah.
hopefully we get to see that this year. But
They're
Yeah.
playing a million.
I feel
I
the
mean-
issue with Chelsea is that like they still could lose to Villa. They still could lose to Forest.
They still have no
Like, they
maturity.
Still have that potential of just not
I think
having
that could
that.
happen though with a lot of teams. Like I think that could happen with the City.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't see it happening with Arsenal.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't see it
yeah,
really
yeah.
happening with Liverpool. Like, I don't know. I just
Less
think
likely, but yeah.
I
It's
mean,
just go ahead.
It can always happen, but what's the likelihood? Like, yeah, Liverpool probably the least likely to draw points against a
know.
team that they shouldn't draw
Didn't,
points
didn't
against. But,
City draw Luton last year?
dude, we did things last year that I don't want to talk about. So
They were despicable.
I think-
Yeah, how many people can handle Dyche ball 4-4-2? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna happen.
That's my favorite type of ball nowadays, man.
Oh, we
I
saw
could see
the
a
board.
lot. I could see a lot of the top, like projected top four teams, just like splitting home away games between each other, and then I don't know what like how it's gonna turn out. Like I could see City and Liverpool playing each other and each winning, them playing Arsenal and each winning. Like I could see that kind of thing happen a lot. So I don't know how the top four is gonna shake out.
All right. I think that's well said. Any final thoughts before we wrap this one up?
I think so.
Yeah. Cool. But okay. That was the table. That's what we got. Thank you all for tuning in. This is the first episode of the season. If you're not in the Fantasy Premier League, please join that. I feel like the banter can be electric. But other than that, I'm Kenny. That's Goody. That's AB. That's Smitty. That's Rodri. And we'll see you next week. Peace.